Okay, we're going to go ahead and get started here. And what we're working on right now is actually the exercise of the site work plan that Professor Holly's going to be teaching you. And I wanted to give you the CAD version of it. So just to review what we're actually working with right now, this is actually the plan that it's going to basically look like when you're done. And so please notice that you got a few things going on here. The most notable thing is you've got some dashed lines, you got contours, you actually have some interesting notation here, and all that has to do with how site work is reckoned. These are called bearings, okay? So essentially the measurements in a drawing such as this are called bearings, okay? A site work plan, they're bearings, and they're all referring to the degrees to north or south or another direction. And so that's what you're going to see as we work on this. So as we begin to draw this, there's going to be a very specific way to type these in. And so that's what we're going to work on right now. So going back to AutoCAD here and taking a look at that, what we're going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and show you how to get started on this. So we're going to go to the up here to the application menu, and we're going to click on New. And once we click on New, we're then going to go out to where we saved the template. You want to save the template, by the way. The template is in Blackboard. You want to save that. And I already saved mine here. It's called Site Plan Template 2019, and I go ahead and open that. Now you're going to notice that there's a number of layers in here that are specific to the functions of what you're doing right here, which is a site plan. Right now it's set on L plant. That'll actually be for our trees. But right now we're going to go with C prop. We're going to do our property lines first. Now this is where it gets a little bit kind of crazy. Now in the tutorial handbook that you have, you've got a number of pages. Starts on page 429. And we're just going to draw in. We're going to do the property lines first. So if you will please turn in your tutorial to page 432. There is a sequence there, drawing linear property lines. And we're going to start with the line command. We're going to type in this information as you see right here. So I'm going to go ahead and get this started. And so we're just going to go right through here. So we start the line command, and I'm going to pick a point somewhere down here because we're starting at the lower right corner, and we're going to work our way up. So I'm going to click here. Now the first thing I need to type in is just like it says. I pick the start point, specify the next point to undo. It's at 48.92 feet. So at 48.92, the foot symbol, and then less than, you use the less than symbol, and then it's N17D, N17D, and that stands for north 17 degrees. All right, then we go 30 with a single quote, that's minutes, and 9 in the double quote, that's inches or seconds, and type in west. And when I hit enter, boom, you get that right there, which is the proper. No, it looks like I had my cursor in a pretty good spot there. And so we're going to keep on doing this. Now the next one is at 61.85 feet, less than N2D, north 2D degrees, 30 single quote, which is minutes, 57 double quote, which is seconds, east. So I hit enter, and there we have it. So it's starting to draw here. Now to prove that we're actually looking okay, let's consult our other drawing over here. If I go to here, it looks pretty good. I got this line here and this line here. So we're looking pretty good. Looks like I'm getting it. So you always want to check this as you go along here. Now the next thing we're going to do is at 86.19 feet, less than N85D, which is degrees, 36 minutes and 24 seconds, and that's to the west. So go ahead and hit that. By the way, please note that when we're putting in these measurements, the feet that we're putting in are actually what are called decimal feet. So that means instead of saying 12 feet 6 inches, we would say 12.5 feet, because when you're talking about surveying, the unit of measurement is actually feet. So feet are kind of treated like inches. So that's how it works. So we just did the third one. Now we're going to do the next one. At 96 0.09 feet, less than, south, 8 degrees, 22 minutes, and 5 seconds to the east. And it goes ahead and draws that. And you can see that we're still looking pretty darn good here. So you got that. It's looking like we've got it. Okay, so it's looking good. The next one's going to go somewhere down here. And so we just did the at 96. Now the next one is at 65.04 feet, less than S 67 degrees, 22 minutes and 56 seconds, and that's also east. So east, hit enter, boom, and it finishes off right there. Now at that point, I'm going to hit I'm going to finish it like that. Okay, so I've got that, and we're looking pretty darn good. I go ahead and look over at this one, and we look like, yep, that looks good. We're just missing this down here. Okay, so we're going to go back to there, and to draw that, what we're going to do is we're going to use the arc command, and we're going to use arc, which is going to be arc start and radius. So we're going to use the arc option, and we use start and radius. So our start point is going to be here, okay? Start, end, and then our radius, we're going to go ahead and type in 40 feet and hit enter. And it goes ahead and draws in that little arc right there. And that, my friends, is the property line. So we got that. In some ways, that's the worst part. But as we go along, you're going to see that you know, there's other things we have to do with this. So that's the basic idea. So then you want to save it as, I'm going to save this to my desktop. I'm going to call it Sitework Brennan, and I'm going to say -2 because I've done another one of these, so I've got that. So now the next thing you're going to see is I need to put in some text and so forth, just to show you how to put these text lines in, because I'm not going to do all of them. But if I go to see property text right here, and I want to go ahead and I want to put in some text, let me show you something interesting here. If I hit F2, F2 goes back and shows me all these different items that I've already put in. So I've got these right here, and I'm going to go up to the very first one, which is at 48 feet, 0.92 out here. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to copy that, Control C, and I went ahead and copied that. Now once I've copied it, the next thing I want to do is I want to start my text. So I start my text command, which is multi-line text. I'm going to pick a point, go from there to there. I'm going to go Control V, and it goes ahead and drops that in there. It's easier than typing it all over again. And now what I want to do is, if you take a look at that, actually the 48.92 is underneath. So what I want to do is I want to change this. So I'm just going to go grab this whole thing, and I'm going to grab this, and I'm going to go Control X, and I'm going to drop it down here. This is just Windows stuff, okay? Nothing tricky. And I'm going to capitalize that because it needs to be capitalized. I'm going to capitalize this too because in the original drawing it is. So we got that, and then I'm going to go ahead and change the justification, which is middle center like that. And now that is a text item that I could then put there. By the way, I do not need my less than symbol, so I can get rid of that. So I'll go ahead and get rid of that. Boom. And now we're good to go. Now I'll take this, I'm going to move it over to here because it needs to be somewhere around here. So I'm going to drop it there. And once I drop it there, it's then there, but now I have to rotate it. So to rotate it, I'm going to go ahead and click on the grip, and then I'm going to right click and choose rotate. I'm going to rotate it to fit basically along here, okay? Just a little bit of tweaking like that. Oop, it didn't like it. So here, and I'm going to rotate it again. I'm going to go ahead like this. And it looks like it's trying to find an object snap. So yeah, it keeps on doing that. So I'm going to turn off my object snaps just for a minute. And let's try this again. Right click and go to rotate. And see if it doesn't like this better. And then you can rotate it like that. That's better. And so that's all I'm looking for right there. So you got that rotated, and that's how we're going to make those work. So I'm going to turn my object snaps back on. Okay, so that is how you would do the text around these corners. I'll do one more, so just get the idea. The next one was going to be the one with the distance of the second one, which is actually going to be 61.85 feet. So F2 again. And you want to do these probably sooner than later, because if your history, if you let it go too far, you won't be able to dig these out. So I want to use this one right here, 61.85, and we'll go to this. So Control C, and I'm going to go ahead and do that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and drop this into there. So I'm going to here, multi-line text, pick 2 points, and Control V. Okay, now what I've got there is I want to do this this one's going to be like this. I'm going to go like this, get rid of that, hit my Enter key, and change this to capital N, and capital E. All right, so I got that. And then I'm going to highlight that and make its justification middle center, so it's a little bit easier to work with. Okay, now same kind of thing I did before. I'm going to grab it, I'm going to take it, I'm going to drop it on the midpoint right there. And then I'm going to go ahead and click. Now I'm going to turn off my snaps again. I'm going to click there, I'm going to right click, I'm going to rotate it. So I rotate that bad boy and I go like this, and it's going to go something like this right here, and boom, there we are. And so that's how you put that on. Okay, so now we understand how to do that. Next thing we need, if you take a look, is we did our property line. Next thing you want to do is going to be your setbacks, which are these magenta lines. Okay, and the setbacks are identified with this in another place because there's a specific distance for each one of them. So we're going to go back to our setbacks, and the setbacks are talked about on the discussion starts on page 435, and the actual setbacks are listed on page 437, offsetting setbacks, and it tells you what they have to be. So there is a 25-foot front setback, and then there's 10-foot side setback. So what we're going to do is we're going to start here. I'm going to go to here and change my layer to C setback. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to offset, and when I use offset right here, I'm going to tell offset to use my current layer. Okay, I'm going to do that. So my first distance is 25 feet, and I'm going to go ahead and offset this 25 feet, and boom, it does that. Oop. And boom, it does that. Okay, I hit my Enter key to finish. Why isn't it doing? Oh, I'm not picking. I didn't pick. All right, so we keep 25 feet. We click here, and then I go ahead and click there. There it is. Now my sides are 10 feet. That's again on page 437. 10 feet for the side, so I'm going to do my offset again. Change the distance to 10 feet, and I'm going to go ahead and go to here and offset there, and offset there, and offset there, and offset there. So I have those. And then the rear is actually a 15-foot rear setback. So I can go ahead and start my offset again, and 15 feet. And I'm going to grab this here, and I'm going to offset that, and boom, there we go. All right, so we have those now offset, and then you can trim this other stuff out or fill in it. I go fill it. I think I can go like here to here, and that goes ahead and takes care of that. And I think you get the idea as far as that goes. And so, yes. And then there's one more offset. It's an easement, which is 7 feet 6 inches, which goes along the right side. So I'm going to do one more offset. I'm going to change it to 7 foot 6. I'm going to go from here to here, and here to here, and we didn't have that. Now, one thing you're going to notice is the dashing, the actual spacing of the lines is not quite what you want it to be. So there's a variable called LT scale, which is line type scale. LTSCALE. I go ahead and type it in, hit enter. Now, right now, the line type scale is 120. Let's go ahead and knock that down to 60. Okay, that's a little better. And for right now, we'll just leave that, but you can adjust that as you see fit. So we're going to go ahead and leave that. So we have completed our property lines. We've completed the text, at least know how to do it. And then we did the setbacks. Okay, now the next thing is you have your contour lines. Now the contour lines are something, actually, yeah, we'll do the contour lines. Contour lines also go on this layer that is called C Exists Grade. Now what we're going to do here is I'm going to turn off, I'm going to keep my my item off there, my object snaps, and you have these different choices for doing splines. You've got a splines fit, and you got a spline CV. I prefer spline CV for this right here. And this, again, we're just going to kind of approximate what we see on the drawing, and I'm going to go ahead and work with this. And you'll see the contours are shown to you on page 441. It shows you the contours. I'm going to do my best to kind of like match this. And I'm just going to kind of eyeball it, and I'm just going to go boom, 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 and I'm going to stop it there and hit my Enter key. And then once you do that, boom, you got a nice thing there. Okay, so I got my first one. I'm going to go ahead and do another spline, and this comes down a little further, down to here. Looks like it's a little below there, isn't it? Okay, so I'll go ahead and ding, 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 somewhere around there, and hit my Enter key. And you have a nice spline. Again, these are contours, so they're looking kind of like nice. They're nice and nice and nice good radii on them, so they look good there. And then I'm going to go ahead and pick somewhere right along here, and I'm going to go ahead and pick a few points, and we're going to go boom, boom, boom. And I don't have to do the sound effects, you know. Yeah, actually, you guys don't have to do the sound effects. So you don't have to say boom when you're doing this. It's just something I like to do. And I got that. Okay, so I went ahead that one, and you get the idea here. This is all 1, 2, 3. I'm going to go with number 4 now. Number 4 goes something like that, and it comes out somewhere around there. Okay, and you're getting the idea. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. Then 5 comes from this point right here. So we'll go ahead and pick a point somewhere around here. And again, I'm just approximating these things right here. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Number 6 is going to be somewhere down here. And like that. And then we've got another one's kind of close to it. And this one's going to go okay, and then we just have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, one more kind of curvy one here. And I'm going to go ahead and drop that there, and then I got one little one down here. So this one goes boom, 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 boom. Like that. Okay, so I got those. Those are all set. We're looking good. And I have all those in place right now. So now you have your basics of information. The next thing you want to do is you want to put your elevation entities in. And those right here, we're going to put them in C property text as well. And so what you want to do is you want to use a donut for those. And the donut is this tool right here. And for the inside diameter, it's going to be 0. Outside diameter is going to be 2 feet. And you can make it a little bit larger. Okay, we'll go ahead and do that again. Repeat donut, enter, and 2 feet. And I'm going to go ahead and go right I'm going to go turn on my O-snap now. And I'm going to go ahead and pull it right up to here and click there. And now I can just go ahead with this set. I can just go ahead and put these elevation markers around the exterior. And they're actually just donuts. And go ahead and drop this there, and we now have those in place. Okay, so that's a lot of what we have right there. The next thing that I want to put in here is actually I'm going to insert the floor plan of what I had there. Now, I don't know where I saved this, so I'm going to go. There's a couple ways to do this, but I'm going to go ahead and try to insert my block by looking for browsing, and I'm going to look for my desktop for floor plan 1. I hope I have it. I don't think I do. So I'm looking for floor plan 1, and that may be a little problematic here. Let me see if I can't find it though. I know I've got at least one version of it. I got a lot of stuff here, and let me see if I can't find it, because it is probably going to be maybe under Monroe Community College. Let's see. No, I guess I don't have it here. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is, let's see here. I might have to pause this thing for a second. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to pause this, and I'll be right back. So I'm going to go back.